Now is the time to pull out your cameras. If you want to throw the barbells on the floor, you can, so you don't have to hold them. Pull out your cameras.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it gets warmer here at about 4 o'clock, but it's not too bad.
Hey,
How are you? Did those bald-headed blokes lead you into a bit of trouble, did they? Those two scone heads last night?
Go with the referees.
Oh, yeah.
And the sighting commissioners.
Yes, yeah.
They make it very difficult.
Oh, well. Some things in life are difficult, but not that difficult. Huh? Easy to have a beer. When are you guys on? In about, you're sort of the last game. Yeah.
So now if you want me to have a chat with you now,
Yeah, that'd be great if you got time, yeah.
I was thinking the first game rather before I get busy.
Yeah, good idea.
Because then I get distracted.
Yeah, of course. No, you got lots to do. Awesome, that'd be great. I think we're going to get underway in about 2 minutes, so all you have to do is just sit there and talk generally into that microphone. You'll be fine. Tell me your name, just your first name, just so.
Rulof.
Rulof.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was more of a roll-off guy, so Rulof. Good. Rulof Kutse.
Kotze. Yeah. Dutch.
Yep. Rulof Kutse.
Yeah. Not a oh.
Kutse.
Yeah.
Rulof Kutse. Yeah, I sort of spell it
No, you spell it
phonetically.
so you know,
Yeah.
you know 100%.
Rulof Kutse. Were you involved with Natal or the Sharks?
Yes, yeah. I was involved in the academy for
Oh, okay.
started it up.
Yeah, nice.
And then I coached the Sharks Sevens for 2 years.
Brilliant. Sure if that's on.
Coached some of the Sharks 15s teams, age groups and so on.
Okay. Hey Norman. Norman. Can you help me with the monitor? Hello, Salamat Siang, and welcome to the Petaling Jaya Stadium for the Asian Sevens Series KL leg. Our first game for today is a cup quarter-final, Sri Lanka in the white taking on Malaysia in the yellow. And with me for this first game this morning, I had the pleasure of introducing Rulof Kutse, who is the coach of the UAE team. Good morning, Rulof. How are you feeling today?
Good morning. Yeah, it's a good day. It looks like going to be a warm one again today out here in Malaysia. But we're looking all right, and we're hoping we can get the day off to a good start.
So Sri Lanka is the top-seeded team from pool play, take on Malaysia, finished second in their pool.
That's right. They played against us yesterday.
You had them in a bit of trouble at half-time, 7-all.
They had a slow start, and then went on to recover quite well.
Here's the first try coming up for this Fijian flyer who's playing for Sri Lanka, Wangavulangi, and he certainly had some pace and precision outside for them, Rulof.
Very much so. These Fijian guys have got amazing speed and acceleration, and they are also well known for their stepping ability. Puts them into spaces. Am I dead?
Oh God. We would have picked you up on this, mate. And I don't know about the monitor. So conversion successful, 7 points to 0. This is a grand start for Sri Lanka. They defeated Kazakhstan yesterday 38-17, and then the People's Republic of China 33-22. Malaysia losing to Korea, as well as beating UAE in our last game of the day. And We talk about the Fijians. Of course, Malaysia have 3 Fijian-born players, but they've been a little lackluster this weekend, haven't they?
They have. They don't seem to get into their own much. And as if they're waiting for something.
Here's one of them, Etonia, who couldn't get in the air there to bring that ball down. So here's Wakavulangi out to Wilwara, who we didn't see much of yesterday. I was sitting next to him in the bus on the way to the stadium. He's got a bit of a sore toe, so they gave him a bit of a rest yesterday. Marija out to Viraratna. Oh, and that's a poor pass though over the shoulder of Patirana.
Looked like yesterday, if you take on these Sri Lankan guys a little bit more in the close physical stuff, they don't enjoy that so much. And maybe that's what Malaysia needs to do to get in this game. Yes,
I think that's certainly the way to take on the Sri Lankans. Viraratna there, number 1, a centre. Mutatantri in the middle there, a nice, good fetcher. And Patirana, a lanky player, but not as much physical presence. Still a young man, of course. He'll develop over the next few years, but they miss a physical enforcer type player.
Yeah, very much so. They got very good feet. They got nice structures. I think Kazakhstan showed yesterday when you get a bit tough with them, they're not enjoying it all that much.
Zulkifli with a good run, tried to get round Vilvara, but the young winger eventually gets him into touch. And it's a quick throw here from Sri Lanka. Dewi Rollins keeping up with play admirably for a man of his age. And out it goes to the flying winger, Viraratna. There he goes. As we mentioned, a forward, but playing his 15s at centre and certainly a lot of pace.
Very much so.
And he takes.
When you give the Sri Lankans a bit of space, they will do that to you. They'll exploit it. They've got some nice good feet in midfield. And they can exploit those things on the outside.
And just clutching his hamstring there, Gayan Viraratna, who has a brother, Roshan, who plays for Sri Lanka as well. He's a scrum half, both with the Kandy club. It's good to see the Kandy players back in the fold of Sri Lankan rugby. And conversion makes it 14-0. So tell us about the Shaheen, Rulof. You've been with them since earlier this year, I believe.
Yeah, I started in February, and what we've done now is we've created the Shaheen program as a separate entity, which will be our development vehicle in the years going forward to bring through the Emirati players accelerated programs. And we're excited about that because it gives the local Emirati players a platform to work from, to improve their rugby, to get into the club structures and the national structures.
Well, they seem to be learning quickly. You would have been very proud of their performance yesterday against Malaysia. I saw you patting the lads' backs as they came in at half-time. Obviously, a play like that is exciting for you to be involved with, and the improvement that you can see must be fantastic.
That's absolutely the thing. As long as, I said to the boys as well, as long as we keep on improving, we'll all feel much happier about what we're doing. And it's, as you say, it's an exciting place to be. I believe the only way we can go is forward. And the boys are certainly trying their best and learning and picking up as quickly as they can.
Nice work from Surya Bandara. Mutatantri and Marija out to Wangavulangi. A bit of a sloppy pass there, but Patirana eventually gathers it. Here he is, as we were saying, a rangy guy, and gets his arms free, yeah. And ball stops at the back of the ruck nicely there for Sri Lanka to continue quickly. Oh, it's a big bump off by Vilvara. He's a tiny man, but boy, he's strong. He's got great upper body strength.
And what they're starting to do is they're starting to move the Malaysian side around, and they're starting to feel a bit of pressure there.
Both these teams, of course, playing in the Commonwealth Games, and even though they finished way down the ladder, I'm sure they enjoyed the experience, and it's great to see some of these minnow nations in global terms getting a go at an event like that.
And the exposure that you can generate for your players in an event like that, also not just from a rugby point of view, but being involved in a multi-sport competition is always exciting.
I'm sure you'd like to tell us who won the gold medal and how wonderful they were too, Roloff.
I would want to, but after last night, we'd just rather stick to what we're seeing right now.
I had that comeback prepared for you.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah.
Good preventative work. So Malaysia with the ball in hand. Murray Lin, here's this young 18-year-old. Out it goes to Rambebe. Slips his arms nicely in the tackle, but
Such a Fijian skill to get through that contact situation.
this one took man and ball there. Didn't really have a chance to improve the position on the field for Malaysia. Oh, there was a wonderful piece of play yesterday from you guys, the UAE, where you stole a line out. It was scruffy ball, your first receiver took it, and your forwards dropped back into position and for support, and the move continued. I think eventually got a try after 3 or 4 phases, and as a coach, just to see them imbued with that natural ability of what to do in situations must be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been one of our key functions has been to try and just develop some awareness for the guys of what is, what needs to be done in certain situations, and to see them actually understand where you want to go is very gratifying, and it does help. Makes one think you're doing the right things.
Penalty there for Sri Lanka. Would there be any stage in the future, in the next few years, where you may consider reintroducing an expat or two, just for if they've fulfilled their residency, they're keen to play and keen to develop the local rugby, or is it very much a black and white situation?
No, the expats are very keen to be involved, but unfortunately the way that the program is structured, the Sevens is seen as an Olympic program.
Yep.
And therefore you need to have a passport as well as residency, and that is where there's obvious challenges for us in the UAE. So I don't see expats.
Here he goes. Love the way he runs with the ball. Ulvara, he's so lightning quick. Just round the outside of Amir so easily. And for a man with a nasty toe injury, that's not bad.
No replacement for speed. No replacement for speed in this game of ours. Yeah, so unfortunately, with it being an Olympic program, I don't see the expats being used in sevens in the foreseeable future, unless that changes. But where we are now, with the funding model that we're using, that will stay in the Olympic program.
So it's half time, and Sri Lanka well in control of this game over Malaysia. 3 converted tries. I guess there's a few UAE sports that do bring in foreigners and give them passports too, isn't there? I'm thinking of athletics and football to a degree. Is that possible that in the future you'd like to attract some talented young players? Or it's very much a local development?
No, at this stage there's no plans to do any of that. Our expats are still involved in our 15-a-side games, in our 15-a-side teams. There's a fairly strong league going back in the UAE, and we'll just keep on using the expats in the 15-a-side game, and then the sevens as a vehicle to develop the Emirati players.
Now, I've heard you've been affected by national service as well. There's a lot of countries in Asia, Korea, Singapore I'm thinking of. You've lost a couple of key players as well for this tournament, which is always it's a fact of life in countries like UAE, I'm sure. But how do you cope? And you're obviously trying to build a broad base of players who can slip in easily into the system.
Yes, it's been because it's a first time that the program, that the national service program has started. It was a very much of a feel it out and see where we're going to go with it, and unfortunately we weren't able to get all the guys we wanted, but we see that in the future we're trying our best to build relations with the national service, with the National Defence Force, so that we can exploit that conscription in some ways, because we believe that you've got a ready pool of players that if we can get rugby into the armed forces, that could broaden our base quite considerably.
Because you've already got a few soldiers in the squad, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got 2 guys currently that are in the military, that are playing for us, and the armed forces are understanding in trying to help us to release these players in time to come to tournaments. They don't always get off as much as the other guys, but they still make it, and hopefully we can build on that relationship with the whole conscription thing coming in, and hopefully find more players that might be willing to play.
Hope you're enjoying our live streaming on YouTube with Rulof Kutsa, who is the coach of the UAE team here at this tournament. He's come over to the other side of the field to join us before his bowl semi-final, which is much appreciated. As we start the second half, Malaysia 21 points down. Marija and Wangavulangi just assesses the situation. Didn't read Marija's line there of his run, but no harm done. Here's Surya Bandar, who's such a wonderful stepper, but he gets caught well there by Zulkifli. So they're tied up 10 metres out from their try line, still moving the ball well, using the width. Here's Gayam Velaratna.
The Malaysian defenders are a little bit slow in reacting and getting their lines back into place. But they're managing to hold on.
Now just slipping around the outside, but they're equal to Zulkifli, who seems to have charged himself with taking care of Surya there in the defensive line. Can match the pace of the nippy halfback. Tough ball, but Patirana does well. Big handoff too from Iswan. As we said, these forwards have got loads of pace as well. Bumps off the defender, Amir, and looks for support. Velaratna now.
Good work by the Malaysian sweeper.
Yes.
To hold up that attack.
Wangavulangi gets his arms clear again. Oh, a lovely little pass around the back. It's beautiful skills, Surya. And there he is again. Wangavulangi, good work rate from him. Vilvara running slightly across field, but took out 2 or 3 defenders, but the cover comes across. Here he is again, Vilvara. Well, he certainly announced his arrival back, that he turned himself nastily there, and the scrum will go to Malaysia, and the crowd enjoy that. We had a lot of youth rugby on this morning on the field, 300 or 400 boys running up and down, delighting in either learning the game or getting some new skills under their belt, so that was fantastic to see as well.
Always good to see a lot of youngsters getting introduced to the game and improving themselves.
So how are you enjoying living in UAE? Have you been there for a while?
Yeah, only, as I said, only from the beginning of the year. It's different to back home in South Africa, but it's a nice city to be in. Obviously, the summer is not the most fun time to be in that part of the world, but we're going into a bit of winter now, and I think things will start looking up.
And the club situation, I know there's been a lot of talks about bringing local players into the club's situation as well, to give them the benefit of some of the expats' experience. Is that working out okay?
We're starting that program as of this last week. Our season starts in about a week or two's time. I think our second division starts on the 19th of September. And we are hoping to get all our Emirati players to join the clubs. They might not all start off in the first teams, but we need them to get into the clubs and get exposed to the culture.
Here's Amir, he's done very well skirting around the outside, but good chase. One, Izzuddin cannot get it as the ball gone for. Oh, the crowd are not going to like this, but fair enough too. The ball bobbling forward there in the contact.
There's a flag up from the side.
Yeah, it could have been a little high around halfway there. The halfback Amir shrugging off the high arm and continuing his run. But you'd imagine we might go back for a penalty, maybe even a yellow.
I think you would have deemed
no, just
over.
A warning, yeah.
Yeah, so we're hoping that all the Emirati guys will get integrated into clubs. As I said, they need to be exposed to the culture of rugby, to the ethos of what rugby is all about, and you can't do that if you're all by yourself all the time. So added to that, obviously, is the added skill development that comes with being coached more regularly by more people and playing games more regularly.
Malaysia have done well in the first few minutes of this half, holding Sri Lanka off, but penalty here to Sri Lanka, and they'll tick it quickly. Rajapaksa takes it away. Marija. Tantri, who's played a lot of minutes already this weekend, good engine on him, and he's firing on all cylinders. Tried the quick tap.
Sri Lanka just seems to have lost a little bit of the attacking intent and structure. This kick is maybe a good plan to just settle them down and get their structures back into place so they can attack the Malaysian side again.
True. So you've got the boys from Kazakhstan, I think, later in your semi, yeah?
That's right, yes.
So how are you going to combat the big units in the Kazakhstan team? Work with pace and...
Well, we're hoping to shift them around a little bit. We think that's where we'll have a little bit of an edge if we can move the ball around key, of course, is to keep the ball. We've had a few issues with that over the last 2 weeks. But if we can keep the ball and shift them around, we could maybe just make an impression on them.
There's Ranjan who gets the ball knocked out of his hands, so it's advantage to Malaysia. Zarif Afridi with a good charge up the middle. Here's Atonia, who just gets over the gain line and gives it to Zulkifli, who's the fastest man in the Malaysian team, that's for sure. Support not there though. A few tired players, I think, from Malaysia.
They're looking a little bit.
And Mutu Tantri flying around the outside. He's got the gas too on Wan Izzuddin. So good work from Mutu Tantri. He really is a hard worker, this young fella.
That's the harsh world of sevens. You make a mistake, and by the time you're getting up from the tackle, the other side have scored on the opposite corner.
So that's his first try of the tournament. Top try scorer for Sri Lanka is Wangavulangi, who really has been a revelation. And I know they've got a couple of other Fijians in the pipeline who are serving out their residency too, that we may see before the end of the Asian Sevens Series. Got a leg in Beijing next month as well. It's the great thing about the series, seeing different places, meeting people from different places as well. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, and for somebody like myself who come from a more traditional rugby nation, we don't often get to come to these parts of the world. And it's very, very enlightening to see how it's been done elsewhere. And as you say, meeting people from a very different place in the world.
Yeah, everybody's so friendly and welcoming, and the hosts doing a fantastic job here this weekend, the Malaysians, and 2 weeks ago the Hong Kong Rugby Union. Yep. Real pride attached to making sure everybody's well looked after. Oh, that kick's gone a bit too long, so we'll come back for a free kick on halfway to Malaysia.
Yeah, both tournaments so far has been extremely well organised, and everything is running like clockwork.
Mr. Naz, the man in charge, getting us all here by police escort, which we welcome. Traffic is pretty tight in Malaysia, although this morning it was, being a Sunday morning, not too bad, as Malaysia string together an attack. The three Fijians working well as a trio. Oh, another ball dropped inside as well. Atunaisia doing a good job there, and he's at the base of this ruck. Very quick ball. Need to use it, and he's given a big lofted pass. No, to Sadiq. Sadiq's got a lot of work to do. He tries to squeeze his way through, and he does. Brilliant work from Sadiq. So a great try, Malaysia on the board. The crowd go nuts. Well done, Malaysia.
Very well done.
Yeah, it was a nice little attack there. The triple scissors from the Fijian brothers, and that seemed to just get the Sri Lankan defence in a little bit of disarray. And as you mentioned, that pass from midfield looked a little like a lottery, but fell in the arms of Sadiq, and he did a very good job at finishing.
He had a lot of work to do once he caught the pass.
Yes.
And he made it look pretty easy.
So that's the end of the game, and Sri Lanka will be through to the Cup semi-final, and Malaysia will go through to the plate, which they are defending. They were plate champions last year, so they'll be confident that they can retain that, hopefully. Let's see what happens after the quarterfinals. The losers, of course, of the quarterfinals will go through to the plate. And Sri Lanka winning this game 28 points